today we finally got a chance to see you in person. Last time we met was at the Women Who Launch.
Ladies Who Launch.
Oh, the Ladies Who Launch. You actually appeared in the Belfast Telegraph for the 30s, under 30s. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel very happy that I was recognized for my work, and yeah, it was just amazing, you know, because that gives me another platform to maybe for other people to see that this could be done here in Northern Ireland. Yeah.
I did a piece with Belfast Telegraph, and we were on BBC radio and other radios and some other newspaper. And when I saw that, it was just like, I was just so happy. And I think that some other people were so happy to see this too, because when we are talking about inclusion, it's also about including other people who are actually trying to do it, because we keep saying, okay, the other people are already here, they are already doing so well, so we cannot actually, you know, compete with them. So well done to you, and
thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll do it again.
I think what you're doing is exceptional, and I think I always love supporting, you know, people who love supporting others, because it's all about supporting each other. Because if I did not have those positive communities around me, I wouldn't. The same thing that I've achieved in 5 months would have taken me 2 years' time, because of the negative surrounding or negative own mentality. But the moment you let go that and surround yourself with really positive people, real people who are ready to uplift you, and it's all about giving first before taking back.
You can get it back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you don't give, you don't get.
No, so you have to give first, and then you receive it, and then you love receiving it. You know, because you had a chance to give it.
You have a chance to give it.
Yeah. So congratulations, you're doing very well, and I'm absolutely happy to see where MRANI goes in next couple of years, and how many people, you know, you come and support. And I think it's an amazing idea, and it's an amazing, you know, social enterprise is how you would call yourself. Social enterprise. You know, that's taking everybody together. You know, it's not about the competition; it's about collaboration with the already existing in the ecosystem. Yeah. Yes, I wouldn't say that there was any. I do not feel that back in India. Like, of course, there are gaps in education in terms of, you know, what I want to do rather than what is expected of me. You know, the education system in India is completely different to system here, and I was very shocked that how open, in terms of like how open you could be with your supervisors here. Like, you could say that, oh, I'm having a mental breakdown, can I get a weekend off? But when I came to Belfast 4 years ago, there weren't many people from my country or in PhD or in postdocs. I was the only Indian in the entire building, and that was a bit intimidating, if I'm honest.
I know, I've been there.
My first friend I remember was this woman, this lovely lady from Nigeria. I was like, yeah, she looks a bit like me, so I'm gonna go. And it started back in India when my grandmother had psoriasis, and so she had bad psoriasis on her hands, on her feet. So it's like, she's mobile, she's independent, but you can't stand up and you can't walk. So she was completely dependent on my family, which was very supportive. And I have a degree in medicine, so she said, could you not come up with something? I'm like, Granny, I wish it was that so easy. But, you know, because in her head, she thought that if you are a doctor, if you're working with doctors, if you're a scientist, you can just come up with things. And thanks to her, I did come up with the thing and the formulation. And she used it for 3 months, and I was very scared because it's my grandmother's life on board. So
in your hands.
In my hands, I wasn't very comfortable, but you know, it got better. And she has been psoriasis free for the last 5 years. So that is where it started. Gran comes for Granny Lab. So the biggest barrier for any international student here would be the visa problems. So because we cannot, as a student, I cannot run a business. I can only do market discoveries. I can do the research, but I am not allowed to have any business propositions. So and finding a sponsor is a very hard one. Do you have to prove the concept of funds? But how do you prove the concept of funds if you're not even allowed to have a business? So I think it's a double-edged sword. You kind of have to find a right balance, and finding that balance has been quite challenging, to be very honest. So you know, so I think something has to be done at the government level to support international talent to have their businesses set up in United Kingdom. First of all, never think anything is not possible. Someone came to me very recently, said, oh, my business is yoga centered, it's not niche as yours. And the question I asked them was, why compare? Just because someone is working towards cancer and someone wants to make a toy These two things are completely different and equally valuable for society. So never ever firstly think that your idea is small. You just have to talk to the right people. And there are people like, yourself, like me, there are other people in the same community that you can always come and have chat with. So just go for it. There is Queens supporting through SU Enterprise. They support international students and home students. If you have an idea, just try and test it out. So that would be my suggestion, that don't be afraid, ask questions and ask them quick. So that if you were to fail, you know them. Yeah, you don't get. So you just have to be very, very confident in approaching people, in asking for help, because help is available. I have never ever been turned down of any help I have asked, irrespective of what stage of the business or the venture I was. Well, it's not a business, a venture I was. Yeah.
The signposting, how do you manage to go around that? How did you actually get around that?
So now that comes from networking. You have to learn to network. Now, where do you start networking? You start it from a very positive environment. For example, if you're a woman, you start from women in business. If you're a man, I don't know where you start from, because I find it quite
You start from MRANI. You are going to start a support next year.
Okay, so. Very good. So you start from MRANI, you start attending events, you start looking for Founders Night. Ormobath has an amazing Founders Night. I can only talk about the entrepreneurs, and that side I can't talk about employment or anything. Yeah. So you start looking at networking events, you start talking to people, like we met in Ladies Who Launch. Who knew that we would be sitting 3 months from now and talking about that, and somebody will tell you something. Always know what you're asking for, though. Like, just don't go and be like, oh, I absolutely have no clue what should I be talking. Talk about yourself, talk about your story, talk where you come from. People are very interested in hearing that. So I think that's where you start, networking events, and then have a LinkedIn profile. That's really helped me to boost my professional relationships. So I think those are the 2 ways that have worked for me. So it may work for someone, it may not. You just kind of have to find your own way, because there is no template. There is no template for me, right? I just do things as they come. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Pragya.
Thank you so much.